Hey, what's going on, weirdos? Welcome back into Movement Parallels Life. I'm Kellen Mylad. Thank you for joining me for today's primal movement practice. This workout is all body weight, and we're going to be blending mobility, strength, and movement. As you can see, we're jumping right in on things today, starting with some basic joint mobility work. So, this is just a low key check in. This is your chance to take your joints through a full range of motion, see what's going on in your body, see where your energy levels are at today, so you can make good decisions on how intensely you're going to train in the rest of the workout. So this doesn't need to be perfect or exact. Just get moving while I introduce today's practice. You can follow along with me, do your own thing, or feel free to skip ahead. So, I've got an awesome workout in store for us today. After this check in, we'll start ramping things up with a 5-minute warm up. Then we'll move on to our primal movement intervals. That'll give you a good blend of mobility and cardio today. Then we've got some core work, and we'll finish off today's practice with a short cool down flow. There are two key points that I want you to focus on to get the most out of today's practice. One, stay moving mindfully. And we're setting the tone for that right now with this check-in. Give you the chance to sync your movements with your breathing and pay attention to the sensations that arise from these movements. And we want you to keep this going, maintain that mindfulness as the movements get more dynamic and intense. And I know that if you can do that, you're going to experience better performance and fewer injuries. Now, I know I say this all the time, but that's because it's super important. Modify these movements so that they work for your body. Don't force yourself through painful ranges of motion. Don't ignore any red flags that come up, and challenge yourself, but don't make these movements a struggle. And the second key point is to have fun and get creative. One of the defining features of this primal movement practice is that we want to bring an element of play to our fitness. The thing is, a challenging workout that feels like play, it just hits different. So you're going to work harder, you're going to be more consistent, you're going to get more out of the practice. Now, good form and mechanics matter a lot. At the same time, don't get stuck thinking of these movements as just exercises that have one single form. By playing, you're going to add more variety to your practice, and that's going to make you more efficient, more adaptable, and more skillful in your movement. All right, so that's my intro. Before we get into the warm-up, just a quick reminder, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the links below for more ways to train with me. Okay, so our check-in is complete, and we're going to move on to our warm-up. 5 movements, 60-second intervals. We're starting off with alternating supine bridge reaches. Lay on your back with the soles of your feet planted on the ground. Roll to your shoulder and reach across your body, extending into the stretch. You can add some additional variety by rocking up into a forward reach. All right, now rock up, and for the next minute, we'll work a transition from side sit to kneeling. Every time I come to the kneeling position, I'm adding a rotation reach. You can follow suit or add any variations to make this sequence your own. Next, transition to kneeling and half kneeling get ups. From kneeling, tuck your toes, rock back to a squat position and stand up, or start in kneeling, step out to half kneeling, and rise up to standing. Mix and match these patterns as you stay in motion. This is a great way to mobilize and activate your lower body. Next up, we've got back reaches. You can perform these from kneeling or standing. Open your chest and rotate through your shoulders to extend into the reach. Push your hips forward and tense your glutes to stabilize your spine as you reach. And for the final movement in our warm-up series, we've got mixed body weight squats. Work on your standard bilateral squat, but you can also mix things up by playing around with your foot placement and changing the width of your stance. All right, our warm-up is complete. Now let's get on to our intervals. 4 movement patterns today, 30 seconds each movement, and we're going for 3 consecutive rounds. We're starting off with crawling. Maybe start off this first round with some basic progressions or just holding a static crawl position. Remember to breathe, keep your arms locked out and knees hovering low to the ground. Next up, crawl rollovers. From your standard crawl position, pick one foot up, reach and roll over, come back and switch sides. Work any variation of the rollover that's right for your body and add your own flair. For our third movement, we've got rolling get-ups. From seated, rock back. Use your momentum to rock up to a half kneeling figure 4 base and then rise up to standing. Come up to standing and transition to sprawls to finish round 1. All right, here we go. Start of round 2, back to crawling. Keep working, but also take this as an opportunity to recover. Incorporate both foot, hand, and inverted crawling patterns. Now we're back to alternating crawl rollovers. For some extra intensity in round 2, add a push-up. Roll over and transition back to our figure 4 get-ups. On your feet, and we're back to sprawls to close out round 2. Third and final round. Here we go. Back to crawling. Switch to alternating crawl rollovers. Transition to rolling get-ups. Rise up and finish strong with sprawls. All right, great work. Our interval series is complete. Grab a sip of water, wipe the sweat, and we'll move on to our core work. Okay, we've got 4 movements in our core series. Once again, 30 seconds per movement, and we're going to go through for 2 rounds. We're starting things off with tuck-ups or V-ups, your choice. All right, lie back. Next up, we've got hollow body extensions with an option for a side to side roll. Flip over and transition to a push up plank position. Next up, we've got alternating star planks. Lower down to a prone position, and next we've got arch ups. That's round one, and we're going to bring it right back for round two, returning to tuck ups or V ups. Transition back to hollow body extensions. Flip over and continue on with alternating star planks. Lower down to your prone position, and we're back to arch ups. There we go. That's time, and our core series is complete. Great job. We're almost done with today's practice. Let's wrap things up and cool down with a quick mobility flow. Stand up and set up a wide stance. We're going to begin with side to side squat shifting. Next, make your way to a kneeling position and we'll transition to alternating rotation reaches. Now shift into a plank position and we'll close the flow with plank spinal waves. Let's run through the flow one more time. Come back to a squat position and into side to side shifting. Flow to kneeling and into alternating rotation reaches. Step back to your plank and finish with spinal waves. All right, friends, that's it for today's practice. Thank you so much for coming out to move with me. If you enjoyed this workout, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out the links below because I have so much more movement goodness to share with you. I'm out of here, but as always, it's been a pleasure. Keep on moving, drink more water, take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.